One of the great things about the Wii is the Virtual Console, which allows you to play a lot of older games that you may have fond memories of, as well as try out the ones that you may have missed without having to hunt down a working system and game cartridge. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of Nintendo's early NES games, Urban Champion. Not much of an intro, I'm afraid, which was actually pretty typical of early Nintendo games, but it does put you right in the thick of things as soon as you hit start. As you can see, Urban Champion is a one-on-one brawler in the same vein as Street Fighter, though it predates Street Fighter by about 3 years. And yes, it is very primitive now, but it's got its charm and it's still a good bit of fun. So let's start by running through the basics of the game. The A and B button are your attacks. A delivers a quick punch that doesn't have much power but doesn't have much recovery time, and B delivers a solid blow that'll send your opponent rolling back a few feet. In addition to that, you can aim your attacks either high or low, and if you're not attacking, you can block high or low, or tap back on the D-pad to perform a quick dodge that'll escape either kind of attack. The object of most fighting games is to knock your opponent out by reducing his stamina to 0. This game's object is a bit different. Your goal is to keep pushing your opponent back until you can knock him into an open manhole. And once you do that, you get to flex your muzzles as you are showered by confetti from some random blue-haired girl. Yes, nothing says ultimate victory quite like watching your opponent fall into an open manhole into the sewers. And then you move on to the next guy. This game is actually pretty easy when you start out, so in all likelihood, once you get used to the controls, you will be seeing your opponents fall into a manhole one after another. And another. And another. And another. And another. And another, 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 until they learn. And of course, there's always that fresh round of confetti to top things off. Once you get to around level 50 or so, the difficulty starts to pile up pretty fast. You can probably look at the timer at the bottom of the screen there. Well, when that runs out, it's time for the police to show up. When the police show up, they're supposed to take the person with the lowest stamina and cart them away. That would be me in this case. And they cart you away all the way to the restaurant next door where you can keep on fighting. Now, the police can actually show up during the stage. Just kind of happens at random. When they do that, both players will scatter to either side of the screen and just look around pretending like there's nothing happening. But they won't actually cart anybody away unless the time reaches 0. As you can probably see by the video going on in the background, things are a lot more difficult in these higher stages. If you just take a quick look, you can see that my opponent is either blocking or dodging just about everything I am throwing at it, and it only gets hit by the occasional lucky strike. It also doesn't help in these stages that the guy on the second floor is still throwing flower pots at you, because while you might be able to recover from them early on in the game, it usually means the difference between winning or losing if you get hit this late. Now, Urban Champion also has a 2-player mode, which is much the same as the single-player mode. The object is to knock your opponent back 3 screens and into the manhole, so I'm not going to really go into more detail about that here. And since there is no end to the green-haired goons that you have to plow through, eventually you're going to be pushed back and knocked into a manhole yourself. When that happens, the green-haired guy then gets to take his turn flexing under the confetti, and then it's game over and back to the title screen. So the question on your mind probably is, should you get it? Well, it's only 500 points, which is $5, and it's good old-fashioned cheesy fun. So if you don't take it seriously, chances are you'll have a blast.